Indie Shooter. Brought to you by Akidio, Band Pro Film and Digital, Blackmagic Design, and Carl Zeiss.
It's the Band Pro Open House. Every few years, we pick it on the day in which it's raining the hardest of that year in Southern California. We got really lucky this year. It's extremely rainy. So, and I'm starting here in the front. We were over by the Red booth, and the big thing with Red is that they've had a number of different camera bodies, and they've gone through a lot of different evolution over the years. But now what they have is they have a single camera body, a single operating system, and they have a choice of 4 different sensors. So the idea of it is that you have one camera body that's modular, but you can throw there's 4 different film stocks you can put it now. There's the Monstro, the Helium. They brought back the Dragon, and they also have the Gemini, which is the low light sensor. Yes. So yeah, they're here, and they got some cool cameras and footage to show off. We're gonna keep going around here. Got the Core SWX is one of batteries that we sell a lot of here at Band Pro. They've gotten pretty popular. They've got a charger systems, like an intelligent charger, and you can kind of track the health of your batteries. If you have a rental house, it's really good because you can kind of check to see what all the batteries, where their health is at, and like which ones are junk. We've got the Infortrend NAS system here, which is a first-time booth here at Band Pro. As shoots are getting to these larger sensors, much bigger files, getting a simple 2-platter RAID drive is not going to cut it anymore. If you're on a couple cameras with a large sensor camera, you're going to need something much more powerful. This is a device. It's scalable. You can get it in a couple different sizes. This obviously is the size of a laptop, which is pretty nice, and it can store an enormous amount of footage. Has some really fast network connections on it, so you can have 2 or 3 computers connected to it at once. You can have a DIT card that's got like a color computer and an ingest computer, or 2 and a laptop, all ingesting and coloring at the same time. It's pretty cool. Hey Terry, what do we got here today?
Image analyzer, FSHDR,
okay.
Keeper Ultra Plus, a couple of the 12G mini converters.
Okay. AJA is here as well, and they've got some really cool products. They've joined forces with Colorfront, which is the kind of ultimate dailies program out there that all the big studios and television shows use, and they also have a really good handle on HDR. So when they combine the Colorfront technology with the AJA hardware, you've got some really good tools here. You got an FSHDR that can take a standard dynamic range image and turn it into a simulation of a high dynamic range image, which is, if you haven't seen the demo, it's very cool. Didn't sound like it would work, but it works really, really well. It can take HDR and scale it to SDR. It can take 2K, scale it to 4K. Kind of Swiss Army knife. Anything you put in, anything you want to get out, you can do that. They also have an image analyzer here that allows you to kind of see what's happening if you're shooting a wide gamut camera and you want to make sure that the color correction image you're making is going to fit into a standard color gamut, or vice versa. You've got the tools here to kind of like, it's sort of like what a waveform vector scope would be, but for HDR and for wide color gamut. That's kind of nice. It's good to see the innovative cart here with the DIT station that's just been in the hostile environment all night, but because we're up on tracks and we had a tarp on it, everything's all good. Is this a new cart?
Yeah, this is the Apollo 40.
Cool. So the Apollo is the new cart from Innovative. It's like a kind of a super heavy duty cart. Yeah?
Yes.
And it's got this foldable, removable tray, truck bed kind of thing here. And you got a monitor rail on the back as well?
Insight monitor mount system, we got the camera mount system on it, and then we have our Digi system on here as well.
Yeah, so this can kind of be a color card, it can be a DIT card, it can be a AC card, it can be a Steadicam card, it can be all kinds of things. This is one of our one of the items we got some of the best feedback on from our users. Like, this is a really serious piece of gear, and people really like it.
How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
We're here with Block Battery, and you guys have a new product for the Sky Panel?
Yes,
right?
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a range of new products. We're let me take it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Randy. So we make a range of different blocks. Okay, some suited more for camera applications, some more for lighting applications, and some that cross over. We have our nickel metal hydride products, which have been out in the market for years. And last year we introduced a cartridge-based series of lithium iron phosphate products, including this one that we introduced last year at Band Pro, and it's continuing to expand into the marketplace. It's about 30% lighter than comparable nickel-based, nickel metal hydride-based products. Charges in 4 hours, and the cycle time is expected to be 2 to 3 times greater of that of, say, nickel-based products. We've set it as a modular system, so the cartridges can come out for servicing, reselling, and for transportation to comply with lithium-ion transportation regulations.
How many watt hours is this?
This is 560 watt hours.
But it's lithium, so you can break the pods out and
Right.
fly with these separately wrapped.
Correct. These can be shipped at, because they're under 100 watt hours each, so they're easy to ship as consistent with other lithium-based battery systems.
Nice.
It takes 10 cartridges. They pop out in and out, and you can resell it in 5 minutes.
Cool.
We use the same cartridges in the new HCL 435, which is the system that
It's
we
a
were
48
talking.
volt system.
And yes, this is a 48 volt or a regulated 48 volt, which will power the Sky Panel for about an hour, or it also does 24 volt unregulated output as well. Same
you can
cartridge system.
run the light at about 50%.
Right, you could run it at
And then
100.
24.
At 48 volts, you can run it for an hour full, or you could run it at half, 2 hours at half the rate.
It's very neat.
Half the capacity.
Awesome.
So that's what we have in this system. And then we've got another cartridge-based system. Uses a slightly larger cartridge. It's 87 watt hours each. Takes 16 of them. The chassis comes in and out. Okay. Cody, you want to demonstrate how the chassis comes out? Cody can pull the chassis out. You can see this. Okay, which is kind of cool. You have to hold it. Right out. And it's designed so that each of the cartridges can be replaced in the future. It's 1,400 watt hours. This will power a Sky Panel for 3.5 hours when coupled with our 48 volt regulator. Okay. Or you could actually do 2 Sky Panels if you wanted to actually do that from here. Or we call it a DIT 1400 because we built it around applications related to what you're talking about for DIT carts,
Right.
such as the innovative carts.
Because a lot of times when if you have the DIT downloading at the end of the day, you have to keep the Jenny operator there. If the Jenny operator's there and the other crew members there, you have to keep the medic. You've got to keep
Right.
different people.
You got to keep all those things going.
So this way, the DIT can just be by himself in the parking lot, completely alone
At the end.
as they desire.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's one of the solutions there. It's also another good solution for some virtual, the multi-camera systems, either the 10 or the 12 camera systems that they're using. They need more power with one power source. Another great solution for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for stopping by.
Another great booth we have here is the Canon booth. We've got all kinds of stuff here. What are we looking at?
We're looking at basically just our line of Cine Primes that we have, and we actually have the new 20mm Cine Prime. It's a T2.5 or T1.5, and it also, the same size, same shape as all the other primes, so it fits right into that category. So now we have 7.
Before you had to jump between a 14 and a 24, and I'd shot on those before, and it's like 14's amazing, 24 is also great, but there's a pretty big jump between there, so it's good to have that middle.
Yeah, so
middle ground.
it filled that gap, and all of our Cine Primes cover the full frame sensor. So our C700 full frame is now being shipped, so that's actually over there on the stage, and it's our 5.9K sensor. It's actually physically the same size and shape as the C700 Super 35.
Right.
And you can actually swap that sensor out. So if you're a current C700 owner, you can actually swap that Super 35 sensor out to the full frame. 5.9K, it's 38mm by 20mm shape, so it's a 17:9 cut off the wafer. So it full frame, it's 5.9K, it has that 17:9 shape to it, and the sweet spot is that oversampled 4K. So you can capture full frame, you oversample to the 4K image, and it cleans that image nicely. And we also have our XF705. This is our new ENG style camera.
The 4K does all beast here.
Yeah, this is a nice jump from the XF series that we had before. So this camera actually has H.265 codec, so it's the first 4K camera.
10-bit?
10-bit,
also?
422,
And
60p.
4K.
Yep.
And
Yep, it's
small
got all
camera.
that.
Yeah.
L series lens, so it's basically a 25 to about a 382 millimeter zoom, 35 millimeter equivalent on it. You can also do Canon Log 3 inside the camera, so it's our first XF series camera that actually has more of a cinema flavor to it. So we have our Cinema EOS cameras. I like to call this one our Cinema ENG camera.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to mess around with log, you got to have 10-bit. But if you also want to keep a small file, it's helpful to use H.265. So it's kind of a lot of good innovations in there.
Yeah, it's a great camera. Looks great. Love it.
Awesome. Thanks. Yep. We're over here at the Sigma booth, checking out some of the prime lenses here and a few zooms. What do we got going on?
So I have almost our entire set here. This year we did come out with, we announced 3 new lenses, all primes, one of them being a 105 T1.5.
Sweet.
We also have which was very well anticipated, a 40 millimeter.
It's like one of the key cinematographer focal lengths here.
It is.
That's like you don't know it until you ask people about it, but they always go crazy about the 40.
Yes, when we came out with our initial announcement of lenses, people kept asking for a 28, for a 40.
Yeah, 28 or a 29, a 40, and a 65 for whatever reason. Those are what people go nuts for.
Yes, and then the other one that we announced, which I don't have, it hasn't shipped yet, is the 28.
Right.
So that'll be coming soon. What's unique about these lenses versus the ones that we had previously. As you know, a lot of our lenses, especially the initial launch, were all based around our Art Series lenses on the still side, as far as the optical design goes. The 105, the 40, and the 28 have all been designed with Cine in mind, and then we made a still version as well. So you will see a few differences.
So this is the basis for the other lens now. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I shot a little bit on that at IBC. It's super fun. It's a fun lens.
It's incredible. People are going to be. This is one of the first events in the United States that people are actually going to be able to come and try it out. So
cool.
Excited.
Great.
About
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
awesome.
Randy.
Hey, so I'm here with Nick from Western Equipment Finance, and one of the things that we do at BandPro is not just put together items from one manufacturer or under one umbrella, where everyone has different needs for their different equipment packages. And my particular job at the company is to make sure all the different brands of technology work together. But often, one of the things we'd like to do is we like to work with finance companies and offer people financing on their equipment packages. So that's basically what you guys do, right?
Exactly. So we've been partnering with BandPro for well over 6 years, and we've really enjoyed the relationship, helping their customers grow their business by getting on the packages they need. So BandPro's the expert on the equipment, and we help them out on the financing when it's required. It's been a good partnership. We've really enjoyed it.
Got Richard Tuning from Zeiss here, and got some really cool Supreme Primes and some other lenses here.
Absolutely.
So
the nice thing with Zeiss right now is we have lens solutions for a wide variety of cameras, right? From anything from A7 all the way up to the Venice camera. Variety of E-mount, EF mount, PL mount. We cover everything. So if your customers are budget minded and it's a small production, lightweight cameras, we have lenses for that, right up to full frame. So the Supreme Primes are the latest lenses we brought out, introduced at Cinegear this year. We're now shipping 6 of the 13 focal lengths, another 3 next year, and then the balance will come in 2020.
Awesome.
Yeah, they've been really well received.
Oh yeah. I've talked to some really great DP friends of mine, and they're regardless of what camera they're shooting on, they're just these lenses are really, really coming through. So
now, we're trying to be as versatile as we can be. Full frame coverage, so they'll work on all of the large format cinema cameras out there, and with interchangeable lens mounts.
Yeah.
Plus our metadata technology now gives you the ability to correct for distortion and lens shading in post. First time ever. Very cool.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and you guys were able to kind of pilot that through on the CP3 before releasing it on some very mission critical Supreme Primes. So I thought that's neat as well.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks. Here with Pamela from Westcott, and got a number of different hard and soft lighting technology here.
They're all the Flex Mats, our brand new Flex Mats, the one that we've really upgraded and really made a difference in the quality and what we do on set. But the biggest one is our new dimmers, the RGB Flex dimmers, which is DMX Wi-Fi, DMX Hardline. I can make this a master and control all the other dimmers. It has all the leaf filters with tungsten and daylight backed. I have source matching, and of course it works with Luminaire, so you can do all sorts of special effects and whatnot, and of course all the modifiers that you can do with the Flex mats, in addition to being flexible.
Yeah, it's really crazy to see like what used to be this huge dimmer board that was like parked in one part of the set is now like this, and a person with an iPad like right next to the camera, like moving
It
things.
makes your life
crazy.
easier.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been on set doing fire by like holding flags and moving them in. Now we can just hit our iPad and make the fire.
Just hit the fire button.
So it's been great. It's great seeing the technology advance, and
that is awesome.
exciting to be a part of it.
Indie Shooter, brought to you by Akidio, Band Pro Film and Digital, Blackmagic Design, and Carl Zeiss.